Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 7 of Eduard's BF109G2. Okay folks, that is all the painting dry. So we are now finally ready for decals. So we're not applying a gloss coat. We are going straight on with the decals, and we're using our water pens. Now a few folk have been having issues with these pens where the microset and microsalt inside appear to be losing some of their potency. I've not had an issue yet, but I've not used these for probably a month, so when we start applying the decals we'll see how we get on. Still undecided on which exact scheme to go for, but I think it's more than likely going to be this one. We may very well change out a few bits and pieces depending on what we prefer to put on, because there are certain things on certain ones which I prefer. So I'm going to crack on. We're going to get the big decals on first because it's always easy to do the easy stuff first. So I will talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, a little update of where we are at with the decaling. All the major decals are now on. So we have the markings, the top, the sides, and on the underside. Now we have a few bits and pieces left off this sheet to put on, some of the smaller stuff, and of course we've got all the really fine stuff to do as well. So I just thought I'd stop and show you what we're looking like with the main decals on. These decals are actually quite horrible and they're not going down really well. This one here has ended up with a few little creases in, which I'm trying my best to smooth out, so I'll probably wait till they're perfectly dry and see what we can do with them. So that's where we're at. So it's really starting to look like a German fighter plane now. So I'm going to carry on and talk to you shortly. Okay folks, we have started the base. Now the back side has been glued and held in place, and we've taped up the inside, and we've also taped up outside with some masking tape. The reason for this being, we're going to fill it with polyfiller, but we're going to water this polyfiller down here with some water so we can pour it like concrete, and hopefully it will self-level itself and we'll have a concrete looking base. So I'm going to mix some of this up with some water, get it poured in, and we'll be back and we'll take a look. So talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, there we go, and you can now see we have the concrete effect down. That's the reason why we watered it down, so we can pour it on and then we can tap. As you can see, it's still wet. We can tap the sides of the picture frame and get this stuff perfectly flat, because if we'd left it without water on it, it'd have been very difficult to smooth out and get this effect on it. So this is going to be at least 3 days dry now because of how thick it is. It's almost the depth of the picture frame. So that is that done. When we come back and it's dry, we will cut into it some lines and create flagstones, but we need to wait for that to dry first. So talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, the base is now almost dry. It's still a little bit soft, so before it dries too hard, as you can see, we've started to put flagstones into it. This part here is going to be grassed and muddy, and this is going to be the actual parking space for the aircraft. And all we are doing is we are measuring out so we get the flagstones the same size every time. We've used the width of the ruler, and we have done around about 4 inches for the flagstone. All we've been doing is we've been going down, scored this way, obviously scored this way. We've got up to here so far, so now we want this part here to be 4 inches, so we're just going to mark it, line up the ruler as best we can. We don't want it perfect, scoring into it while it's still that little bit soft, like so. And do we need another section here or here? Nope. We need a little bit just there. We'll do that by hand. So that's now all marked up, and what we've been doing is taking a cocktail stick like so. That one's actually broken, this one, and all we're doing is going around and making these gaps a little bit bigger. So just pushing the cocktail stick in and just dragging it along and making them a little bit of a bigger gap, like so. So follow the line with the cocktail stick, making sure we've got other parts are drier than others. Making sure and just make that gap a little bit bigger than what the craft knife is. Oh, I need a new cocktail stick because that one's starting to blunt up a little. So get in the groove and then just very, very gently make this gap a little bit bigger. Some parts are easier than others. And we want it as random as we can possibly get it. Just like so. And then once it's completely dry, we'll get something a little bit harder and do the same thing again and see if we can get some bits and chunks to actually come out, so it looks like it's actually aged a little and it's not brand new. So I'm going to carry on doing this. I don't want to rush it and mess it up and have to start it all over again. So I shall talk to you momentarily. Okay folks, there we go. I think that's as far as I am going to take it. So obviously once this has a bit of colour on it and weathering, it'll look a little bit better. It's just the grey at the moment. So with the plane on, so around about there, that is what we are looking like. So Dio is starting to take shape. Now this is now going to need a few more days to dry, so we're going to put that to one side. And we are going to continue with the small decals on this kit, which are this lot. So I don't think we're going to get anywhere near all of those on there. We're just going to go for some more of the obvious stuff like these red chevrons which sit on this part of the wing here and here, and some of the little symbols which are dotted around in different places. So I'm going to carry on with that, and when we're done we'll show you. Okay folks, that is the decaling all done. We've put a few little bits on. We've got some little red chevrons on these wingtips here. We've put a few little symbols. There's a tiny little one there, and there's a little thing under there, and then we've put a couple more bits and pieces on this side as well, but not a huge amount extra. There's absolutely shed loads of decals you can use, but I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours trying to put those on. So we're going to let this dry at least 24 hours, and then we're going to do some chipping and some paint scratch effects. So I shall probably see if the diorama base is dry enough to carry on working with. If not, we shall be back with this. So talk to you shortly. Okay folks, so diorama base is a little bit more dry, so what we've gone and done is we've gone and added some wear and tear into these slabs. We put little cracks in, and we've done this by getting with it still being a little bit wet, we can actually peel the top part of this off, and we can actually fold it over, and it does actually split like it's cracked. So now we can force that open a little bit and clean that out, and there we have a very small crack. Like so. Right there, very small one. If we zoom in a little bit, I always go the wrong way. So we have just created that little crack there. Did exactly the same for this one, and this one we just ripped the corner off. And again, we've got another one just there. So I don't think I'm going to put any more in, because if we start doing too much, it'll look a right mess. So this now is going to have to be left until it is absolutely bone dry, so we can actually start to put some paint on there. So we are also waiting for decals to dry, because I've just finished filming that part with the when we finished the decals on the last clip. So I'm waffling. Leave this to dry for a few days. The decals should be dry for tomorrow, so for now I've got nothing to do. So I'll be back here tomorrow, but I'll see you in a moment. Okay folks, that is the diorama base completely dry. So we are now going to get some primer down on there. We're going to be using some UMP grain primer, and we are warming it up in a hot cup of water, thanks to Gilbert Mondragon's little tip a few weeks ago. I've been shaking it up on and off, and it's not hot, it's just lukewarm. So we'll see how this goes down. Oh, that's actually a lot runnier than it normally is, so it should flow a lot better. So I'm going to switch the vent on, and I shall talk to you in a moment. Okay, that is the primer down, and I have to say, warming it up, even just making it lukewarm, has made a massive amount of difference, because I've just sprayed the UMP primer at 14 psi, and I usually have to have this up into the mid to late 20s to get it to spray nice, and that has just gone down absolutely beautifully. So we'll give that a few minutes to dry. I'm going to clean my airbrush, then we're going to come back and we're going to pre-shade with a little bit of XF1 flat black, so I shall be back in a moment. Okay folks, that is the grey dry enough for us to come in and pre-shade. So we're going to be using flat black. We're not going to need much, we're not going to be spraying much. Pressure on my airbrush. That should do it. So all we're going to do is we're going to pre-shade the lines of where the slabs are. So we are literally just going to flat lines, nothing overly complicated. So there we go. Yep, and we pretty much used all that black that was in that cup. So measured to perfection, as they say. So I am now going to leave this for at least 4 or 5 hours before we come and put the top coat on. Give that plenty of time to dry out. So we will move that to the back of the room. I'm going to get my airbrush cleaned out, and then we'll head on over back to the bench and we shall do a little bit of chipping on the plane itself. So see you in a moment. Okay folks, we are ready to do a little bit of chipping. Now, because of the scale of this, we're going to have to be reasonably gentle. We don't want great big huge blobs of chip. I'll put my teeth in, we'll try again. We don't want huge blobs of paint for chipping. We're going to need really small and fine stuff. Now the plan is, wherever we have some yellow, we'll do some white chipping and a little bit of black. Where we have the stuff over the top of here, we'll put some like yellow scratch marks and things in the German symbols, and obviously a little bit of white and a little bit of black to make it look like it's gone all the way through. We need to be a little bit gentle because we can get a little bit carried away. So we have our main colours here. We have yellow, white and black, and of course we've got a little bit of metallic grey to do the leading edges of the propeller. So we're going to start off doing these yellow bits, so we're going to want the white and the black. So tools we're going to be using, a pair of back to front tweezers and a little bit of this green stuff. Now I'm just going to roll this up and we're going to get it in our tweezers like so, and then we're going to rough up the edge with a set of these. So we're just going to cut it and pull at it to give us a random texture, just like so. Clean that up a bit, and we've got a bit of a rag just to take the excess away from this. So we shall start with white. So give that a quick shake up, and all we'll use is what is in the lid. So like I say, we're not going to need a huge amount, so very lightly touch. Get some on there, take away most of the excess, and then we're just going to dab, and we may even put a few scratch lines in it, and that is pretty much all as we are going to want. Pretty quick, just right in, get that to focus. So all we've got is a little bit of chipping on the leading edge and a couple of white scratches. Oh, there goes my compressor. So we'll do the same again on the underside. See if we can leave that on the camera while I do it. So we probably won't need any extra on there, so you may just have to press a little bit harder, see if we get anything, and then just drag it across. There we go, that will do us. Like I say, and that is pretty much it. That is all as we want, just like so. So we'll do the same again this side. We'll zoom out a little bit, it's a little bit too close. We'll go there. We have our paint, so we'll get a little bit more on the paint. Take the excess off on there, and again we're just going to very lightly touch, like so. So we get some random scratches in there again. Same on the top. There we go, perfect. Just got a few white patches and a few scratches. Actually, we'll put a little bit on the back there as well. And there we go. That is our chipping on the yellow. So we're going to do the same again on this section. So again, a little bit more on there, 90% of it off, and we're going to very gently do some random, even on top of the decal. Am I on camera? Yep, get a few scratches in there. Keep going around. We'll build it up a little bit just there so it looks like lots of wear and tear on that bit. Oh. I don't know if you're going to see that because of the shine. We know quite a bit of white on there. So I'm now just going to do some random spots on top of some of the other decals. A little bit on that heart, a little bit on there. Don't need any on that. Same on this side. And of course we have a nose section. So I'm going to do quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. I'm starting to run dry. Top up. There we go, that will do us all the white. So, we have finished the white. So next we're going to want to go with the black. So I'm going to clear off some of this white. Don't need to clear it all off, so the black will just cover that. I'll shake up the black. Rinse and repeat. So a little bit on the rag, but actually quite a lot on that rag there. So we're going to take quite a lot of that off. This time we're going to be super gentle on camera. Hardly any of this. Of course we're going to be washing. Ooh, a bit too much. Maybe not. We'll see. On camera. Excuse me for going quiet, I'm concentrating. Bit around the wheel wells. I need notice those. I'm doing most of this off camera, unfortunately. Just completely random spots. Of course, we're going to probably get most of these dings and dints on the leading edge of things. the black as well. So let's put a little bit up here and on these exhaust covers. And there we go with that. I don't think I'm going to put any more on. I think that is just enough, maybe a little bit too much. It's awfully clean under this backside here. So there we go, that's that chipping done on the plane. Black is finished. So next we want to do a little bit on the leading edges of these rotor blades. So we will get out our metallic grey, quick shake up. A little bit on the end of that. I'm going to take most of it off, and then and right on top of the nose. So zoom that in a bit so we can take a close look. I knew I'd get it wrong. So there we go. The nose batted and the leading edges of the propeller. And that is that complete and done. Our plane is complete and done. Some very light chipping, a little bit heavier in some places. You've got the white coming, the yellow being scraped off, and then the black being taken off underneath that as well. Got it on some of the decals, wear and tear as well. So yeah, not looking too bad. So that is the chipping done. Now the diorama is almost dry enough to get that last coat on it, but this episode is starting to drag on a little bit, so I'm going to call it there. Until next time. So next time we will be carrying on with the diorama. We'll be getting this gloss coated. There we go, I forgot to chip. Put a few chip marks on those wheels, so I'll do that off camera. So yeah, next time, finish painting the diorama, get the mud on and get the static grass on. We will get this, I will get this gloss coated offline so we can carry on with the weathering, so we get the panel washes in and things like that. And we are getting close to completion. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Be good, be safe, and as always, keep making models, and we shall catch you next time. Ta-ta.